Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about three things that hold people back from achieving their success, whatever success means to them, because it's different from individual to individual. Additionally, okay, so I know what's holding me back, but realistically, what's the path forward? What is the path moving forward? And I think we can answer both of these things, or just give you more clarity on them so you can be the best version of yourself. Enjoy the morning show, folks. It's going to be a banger. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Talk Taryn Morning Show, where we go over tips, tricks, ideas, and exercises to help make you the absolute best person you can be, not only for yourself, but for the people you love and care about most. Good morning. This morning, we're going to get right into it because I kind of have a couple longer lists. I believe there's a reason why we do. There's a reason why we don't. And this reason is different for everyone because of your upbringing, your experiences, your genetics. It's a big cluster ball of mystery, right? And humans are unique, psychotic, but intelligent social creatures. I don't know. It's all confusing to me. It's like words never do it justice. So I think there's really only going to be one person who's going to be able to really understand you and truly help you change your life. You can work with coaches, you can work with organizations, you can work, and doing this is essential because it's someone on the outside of the forest kind of giving you some help and support. We all need support. At the end of the day, though, when it comes to working out, eating right, understanding what's holding you back, or creating that path forward, you're going to be the best guide, like you are. Not me, but you. I think getting help and support makes total sense, but at the end of the day, we're going to have to do this. And I think say if you're stuck in a little bit of a loop, for example, I've been stuck on smoking cigarettes, nicotine, drinking alcohol too much, smoking pot too much, just avoiding sales calls because like every ounce of my body I just hate being rejected and it feels like I'm not good enough. And well, there's a slew of things that I've worked through to really help me get to where I am today. And far from perfect, and I don't think anybody's perfect, but maybe you're at a roadblock, or maybe you're just trying to gain some clarity on the path forward. This is the perfect episode for you. All righty, let's go ahead and start getting to work. We're going to first talk about the three things that hold people back. The three things that hold people back. First one on the list is emotions. So we have emotions. Emotions hold people back. The most common one is usually fear. So just kind of getting fear out there into it. This is the most common one for me. And really is the fear of the unknown. The fear of the unknown. Human beings are not confident in things we don't do a lot. We're not confident in things that we're not good at. And we're not good at things we don't do all the time. I think there's a lot of emotion. We're scared. We're sad. And there's so many different emotions going on. If you just wrote down a list throughout the day of the emotions that you felt in any given moment, you would think humans are psychotic. I'm feeling this emotion. I'm feeling a burst of joy and I'm ready to take on the day. And I love my life and I have a great career. And then like 2 hours later, I'm like, I'm not good enough. I suck at this. What is going on? Should I move? Do I need a new relationship? Humans are crazy. Emotions range so much. And I think our goal with emotions is to accept them as they are. You can either deny them, you can dramatize them, or you can accept them. You got about three options. And I highly recommend accepting them because they're going to come no matter what. You can sing Kumbaya all you want, but that emotion, we're still going to get waves of emotions. I think the real argument here is how often we're going to feel, or how is it going to control our actions. So are your emotions going to control your actions today? Are you going to be able to act logically or emotionally? The emotional, we talk about the two sides of the brain, the emotional side and the illogical side, left, right hemispheres. And the emotions, they're driving. They're driving. They got the foot on the gas. So they're going to find, but being with our emotions, looking in within ourselves and finding that understanding, I believe, and like, are you fearful? Are you sad? Are you scared? Like, what's going on? Like, what are the emotions? And we want to just be with them and question, are these true? Is this true? Or have I just not done enough to really know what's going on? I think the fear of the unknown was the biggest one for me. So the fear of the unknown holding me back. So emotions tend to hold people back. Number one. So number two is limiting beliefs. So you can call, there's a few ways that you can talk about this. It's all the same thing, really. So you have false narratives, bullshit stories, and limiting beliefs. Three in the same. False narratives, bullshit stories, and limiting beliefs. And I think limiting beliefs, so if you kind of put that all into one, stories. So we tell ourselves, I can't do that. Have you ever heard someone say that? I can't do that. Nope. My daddy's daddy never did this, so I can't do that. Just like this rhetoric that makes no sense. That's not true. And really kind of, you can see how these feed into each other. There's something we don't know. So we pull and we're so scared, and we all have a shadow. I need to do a special on Carl Jung's philosophy of the shadow. Additionally, Dan Millman does a good job of talking about the shadow. The shadow is like everything, like you're not, or you don't want to be, you're scared of anyway. But the stories that we put into our heads, then if you tell yourself, have you ever heard that if you tell yourself a lie long enough, it becomes true? And I think that's so true with these limiting beliefs and stories. We trap ourselves. We become the jailer of, we become this like victim that doesn't have opportunity, that doesn't have a choice. And that's so far from the truth. So I believe stories, limiting beliefs, and false narratives really do a good job of holding people back. Okay. So we want to question that, right? We want to question these beliefs. Is that true? Is that true? Is that true? We need to get that question on the board. Is it true? Is it true? This isn't a class on philosophy today, and we're not going to go back on like what is truth and all that stuff today. But, okay. Third one is habits. So third thing that I believe holds people back is habits. If you drink alcohol, if you smoke cigarettes, if you smoke too much pot, if you do things, if you watch too much television, no matter what we're doing, things take energy. And we've talked about this. This is a fancy little cute glass from Mexico. But we have a glass. Think of your energy as in this glass of water. You fill it up, and then as the day goes on, whether you're watching TV, you're scrolling on your smartphone, or whatever the hell we're doing to distract ourselves, the glass of water continues to go down and down and down until it's dry. And then what happens with habits so often is we give all of our energy to a job we don't like, to relationships that are really draining. And the glass of water is gone. The glass of water is gone, and the habits, now we have no energy to do the positive habits, such as making social media content, selling your service, improving your product. I've done this so often. How I cope is I like smoking pot. I like reading books. I like to over exercise, like really push my body, go on long runs or hard lifts, whatever. And it's a way for me to drain my body in a healthy way, quote unquote, healthy subjective, right? Because if you're avoiding the things you know you really want to do with things, that's not actually healthy. But my point is, if we avoid these things just to do these, to drain our energy, to give ourselves permission to relax, we're doing it the wrong way. And I think habits can be really powerful. And that's why it comes in on number 3 for our list of things that hold us back. So again, 3 things that hold us back real quick for a review for people just tuning in this morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for tuning into the show this morning. Emotions hold us back. Limiting beliefs, bullshit stories, false narratives hold us back. And additionally, habits can as well. I had a little bonus here before we get on to the path. So before we get on the path, I think a good segue onto this is just having skills. So we have things, we're not doing what we want to be doing, right? And we want to make a change. Tanner, I'm uncomfortable. I don't feel good about what it is that I'm doing. I want to make real positive change. I want to help my family. I want to travel. I want to create something bigger than myself. I want to go from self to service, but I don't know how. I don't know how. And the skills, nobody knows how to do. When we're born, we're perfect, right? We're like this perfect ball of bliss and not knowing and be like, and that's completely okay. If you were to see a newborn baby, you'd be like, they're absolutely perfect. Have you ever heard that about a baby? They're absolutely perfect, but they don't know how to do anything. And the only things they know how to do are involuntary, right? Breathing, pooping, all this kind of stuff, like being hungry and thirsty, whatever. So we need to, if we really want to change our lives, and as we start to grow and we start to have desires and we start to build relationships and we start to develop, I think we need skills in this world. We need skills. So a bonus, the 4th thing that comes on as a bonus for what was holding us back, I think, is addressing the skills that we need to have. What is the best way of doing this? What's the absolute best way to do this? If you can identify what it is you want, so this gets right into our number 1 goal. So we want to find our path and stay on it. So we got to be able to answer this first question. It's like, what do you want? What do you want? That's a little piece of chalk I ran out right there. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning in the show this morning. Let's have a great morning, everyone. Let's get rocking and rolling. But the first to building the skills, I believe, because you can go in 2024, we have so many options. It can be very overwhelming. I could sell cars. I could sell houses. I could build a SaaS company. I could be a coach. I could be millions of things, right? So we got to figure out first, to get the skills, you got to know what you want to do. What do you want to do? What do you want? This is the freaking hardest question, I swear, to ever answer, ever. And because it's like, I change my mind all the time, it feels like. And the only way to get really good at anything is to dive into something for a decade. I like to think in decades now. I'm tired of this limited belief thinking of like thinking in weeks and days and stuff. Things take a lot of time to build. Anyway, so we need to know what it is that you want. So what do you want? So once you can address that, I highly recommend that you talk to somebody who's already doing what you want to do. I've never seen a faster way. I remember talking to my mentor, Rich. I learned more from Rich in like 2 cups of coffee than reading hundreds of not hundreds. Okay, that'd be a lie. But I read like 100 personal development books. No joke, like 100 of these bad boys over like 2 or 3 years. And I learned more from Rich than like a couple cups of coffee. If you want to really skyrocket and speed it up, I think hiring a coach or a mentor is like the best way to do it. But if you want to build the skills, first you got to be able to know what it is that you want to do. So that's the first part of it. So we want to find our path and stay on it. And the first part of the path is knowing what do you want. Okay, next up is why. Why do you want it? So the why. Do you want it for your family? Do you want it for yourself? Do you want it for a big cause, a nonprofit organization that you want to build out? You want to feed children? Like, why do you actually want this? Why do you actually want it? And we hear this time and time again on every personal development video. You got to have a why. You got to have a why. And I've heard it 100 times. It took me like 100 times hearing it. Sometimes we need a lot of reminders as humans. I don't know about you, but my memory is dog water. It is not good. So if you need to hear it again, write out your why. Why do you want it? Why do you want it? I call this purpose, really. So what's the purpose? So now we have the what, which would be more like in my coaching style, I talk a lot about values and vision in the beginning of our relationship. I got to know your values. I got to know your vision, because that's going to answer that. What do you want? And then we have the why, which for me is, I do this under purpose and relationships. If you want to go out to the woods and you want to be by yourself, that's totally cool with me. It's just not really my style. I like to connect with my family. I like to connect with my friends. I was talking to my mom the other day. It's like, what are some of the traits and qualities of me as a kid? And it always came back to social. It always came back, whether I was playing video games with the boys, or I had some family issues when I was growing up as a kid. And to avoid certain situations, I'd go hang out with my friends. So relationships have really helped my why, because I think going from self to service, because there's only so much joy that you can feel personally. If I told you I will let you go on any vacation that you could ever want, but you got to go by yourself, versus I'm going to let you go on a vacation. You can use my business card and you can take whoever you want. What do you think is going to be a funner experience? So I think a big part of my why is getting that purpose and relationships part down. Well, that's the second part of the path. So again, we're on the path. If you're just now joining us, good morning. Good morning. Thanks for tuning in. How are we doing this morning? Checking the comments. Okay. Cool. We're rocking and rolling. We're doing great. So we have the why. So after you figure out your why, and you can always come back and rewatch these. You can go to YouTube. You can be on any of the social medias. They're all out there completely for free, no cost. We just want to really help people go from good to great. Go from good to great. Next is we got to create a rough plan. Create plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail, they say. And having some type of rough plan, I really want to emphasize on here that the first plan is going to be total trash. If you haven't made a real plan for yourself lately, and I'm talking a one-page document, don't give me this 5-page document. Give me 1-page document of what you're going to be doing, what do you want, and how are you going to do it? And if it's longer than one, cut it down. And I think really good writing is usually really concise. Is that opinionated because that's my style? Probably. But when it comes to Jeff Bezos, when it comes to, there's just like too much going on, and you need to just lay it in front of me. I think things get too confusing, and it's too much thought when the plan doesn't even really matter. It's really just taking a bunch of action. And that leads us to our next point. So you're going to create a 1-page plan, just one, like 1 page, just one, get it on there. What do you want? Why do you want it? What are you going to do? 1-pager. Get some just rough numbers on there, very rough. And then the next part is to take messy action. So shout out to actually coming on to the show tomorrow, Bailey. She's really good with coaching and hormones and just improving your health and wellness. So can't wait to have Bailey on the show tomorrow. Shout out to her. But we'll show her stuff here in a second. But just taking messy action. We want to just take messy action. We want to take action. No action, no result. No action, no result. That's just unfortunately how this stuff works. Do we have to feel shame? Do we have to feel guilt? This is what I've been struggling a lot with, is I feel a lot of shame and guilt when I don't get something done. I feel a lot of shame and guilt when I'm not as far as I want to be. I think this is really common for people. And so the best way to mitigate this is with evidence. I truly believe this. If you want your emotions to kind of quiet, to be able to accept them and understand that they're not going to kill, is you just move forward. You lean into the fears and you do this stuff, and taking action is the only way. And I think taking action is just, I mean, if you're doing this list, if you're figuring out the path, because I think the number one goal for people is we just want to know what we're doing and we want to feel good about it. I think that's really given me a lot of peace and made me feel really confident in myself so much. So, and to do that, so you're going to need to, quick little recap. You're going to need to know what do you want, why you want it, create a rough plan, take messy action. And the last piece is receive feedback. I would say you can put this as coaching. You can put this as mentoring. You can join an organization, somewhere where somebody's just, two heads are always better than one. There's something about just people giving you some feedback. You don't even have to use the advice, but it's just going to get your mind turning in a little bit. There's something about collaboration that I think is so good. So support goes on as our last piece. I don't know if you guys can see that down there, but it's support is our last part, is our last piece on that. So that's the path moving forward. So quickly, we went over 3 things that hold you back. And additionally, we created the path forward. And the goal is to stay on the path. The goal is to find the path and stay on it. Find the path and stay on it. So quick little recap for you guys just tuning in to the show this morning. And you can always come back, go to YouTube, rewatch this stuff. But 3 things that are holding people back. First is emotions. Is it an emotion? Is it a fear? Is it a sadness? What's holding you back from taking that action? A limiting belief. Limiting belief. Bullshit story. False narrative. Habits can hold us back. And additionally, maybe we just need some skills. Maybe we need to take a class. Maybe we need to go to college. Maybe we need to hire a coach. Maybe we need to read some books to help build our skills in order to reach our number one goal is find your path and stay on it. It's not even about, gosh, cliches are cliche for a reason. Am I right? And it's not about like achieving the goal. It's just feeling content and peace and delight in any moment as you're aspiring towards something really cool or that you think is cool. That's why success is so subjective. Like there's these monks that take a freaking hour to eat a bowl of soup and they're happy as can be. And they're like, oh, it's not even about happiness. It's about surrendering and acceptance and all that craziness, which is totally true. I get that. But to get to that point, I think you need to be able to pick your path. And the best way I have personally been able to do it, because I'm sure there's a million ways to do it, but this has worked really well for me and my clients, is, what do you want? Why do you want it? Create a rough plan, 1 page, not 20. Take messy action. Receive feedback and support from a professional. And if you can't afford a professional right now, YouTube University, whatever, or maybe you can't afford it because it's just some limiting belief, or it's some habit that you have. If you just quit eating out all the time, you'd start investing in yourself instead of like making yourself unhealthy. But either way, so we want to receive feedback and support. And then the thing that nobody likes to hear, unfortunately, is you just repeat it. You just follow this framework and then you repeat it, because what you wanted when you were 16 is not what you want when you're 36. What you wanted when you were 10 is not what you want when you're 50. So this stuff's going to change. And that's why you just keep coming back to it in a loop. And it's fun to, how I'm talking, it sounds like that's not enjoyable and it's hard work, but it's like, what else would I even do? Then coming back to what I want and coming back to like why I want to do it for my family. And these, like, we're going to keep circling through these over and over. So don't be scared to come back to them, repeat them. And that's why I think the feedback and support loop from coaches, mentors, and organizations is so crucial, because there's just certain blind spots. I think everybody has blind spots that we just don't see. And something before I get out of here today that we want to make sure that we'll remember this morning is those who never quit never fail. Those who never quit never fail. Cheers to that, my friends. If you would like to work with me, if you like my coaching style, if you like how I vibe and I flow, I want to show you guys my personal website. You can always go to oneplp.com. That's actually my HubSpot. That's who I use for. You can go to my website, oneplp.com. You can get my free values worksheet. That one's really intense, really good. I've done so many values exercises and nothing even competes with this. This stuff is absolute money. Really fun plug and play pieces so you can print them out or you can fill them out, fill in the blank and change your answers over time on the computer. Super amazing free tool. That's absolutely yours to have if you want it. And you can go do that by going over to oneplp.com. I'm going to comment in here real quick. Good morning. Good morning. My website, if you guys want to go and check it out, you can either check it out on mobile or you can check it out from your computer, whatever the heck you want. But yeah, just coming over here, I offer one-on-one coaching where you can work with me individually on a weekly basis. You can work with me. I have extreme detox programs where you work with me for 30 days straight. And we get all that crap out of your body. We hold you real accountable to taking massive action, but that's for the real go-getters. And finally, we have the 1PLP course, which is our most affordable product. And I highly recommend people start with that. And you're going to get the book. You're going to get our book. You're going to get our customized worksheets. You're going to get 24 contact to me. You can reach out to me. You're going to get our vault access to all of our coaching exercises. But you can always go check that out at One Page Life Plan. So that'd be the One Page Life Plan if you wanted to buy my course. But additionally, I have one-on-one coaching if you want to work with me privately, if you need higher levels of support. Okay. That's my system. That's what I got going. That's how I can bring help to the table. You guys, we're going to have a really fun morning show tomorrow. We're having our guest on, Bailey. She's going to be, let me go ahead and just kind of share her profile real quick. How's everyone doing today? You guys got big plans? It's going to be a fun one, I believe. Where is her contact? Okay. This is why you got to have this stuff up already, T-Dog. Okay. Cool. At her stage. So Bailey Allison, she helps women with hormones, acne, and weight loss. I think she's got a really cool style. She's got a lot of really good content that's really straightforward and helpful to people. So can't wait to have her on the show tomorrow. It's going to be a fun one, but make sure to tune that out. And we'll be going live 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, where you'll be able to check us out. That'll be episode, oh my gosh, we've done so many episodes, I'm starting to forget where we're at. That'll be episode 439. Today was 438, an absolute banger. This was one of my favorite, when I was writing the notes for this was one of my favorite episodes. And I think it's going to be really helpful and powerful. So make sure to share our content if you really liked it. And of course, the best way that you can do to support me as a coach is to go out and you can check out my coaching and work with me. Or if you know anyone who would benefit from my coaching, from my energy, from my style, please send over them my website too. It means the world to me. That's all I have for today. You guys have an incredible, incredible day. I love you all. And I'll see you bright and early, 8 a.m. tomorrow with another interview with Bailey Allison. Can't wait. Cheers, friends. Catch you guys on the next one. Love you all. Peace.